What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Visionary Cakes back here with another video, and for this video here I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what products I use to customize my sneakers. This is going to be a video going from the stencil machine to the paint I use to the airbrush machine and even some computer apps I use. Very simple stuff, but I am going to be showing you guys this whole process. I get a lot of DMs and messages and comments on YouTube videos explaining like what I used during the certain video and stuff like that, so I just decided to do a video explaining everything I use. And if you guys want a more in-depth video on like a certain spot of the video, make sure to leave a comment down below and I will get back to that as well. Or if you want to just have like a one-on-one conversation, leave me a message on Instagram and I will get back to you there as well. So this right here is going to be something really simple, just kind of letting you guys know what I do. And also, this is not something that everybody does, it's just what I do and what works for me. So if you see somebody do something else, it's not wrong. There's just many ways to do this custom stuff, but this is what I do and how I customize my shoes. So let's get into this video. If you guys want to learn a little bit more, make sure to keep on watching. Let's go. Alright guys, so first things first is you need your shoes. Here we have an Air Max 90. It has mesh, leather, and plastic pieces, and then you have your regular Air Force One. These are both customized by myself. You have the Goku Air Force Ones here, and the Union Air Max 90s here. Totally different shoe. This one was a lot easier to customize, even though it might look like there's more detail, but it's all leather, so it's easier to customize than something like this. This has different materials, so you need to add things to your paint so it sticks and makes the material last as long as possible. Alright, so first things first, on any custom you're going to need to use leather preparer and deglazer. This is made for your leather, and you use it so that when you do prep your surface, it makes the factory coat come off, and then when you start painting it, the paint adheres to the leather a lot better with this. So for an all white Air Force, I did use leather preparer and deglazer, and then for this one as well, I did it just on the leather pieces. Obviously, this is leather preparer and deglazer. You use it on the leather that you're gonna paint. So that's the first thing. Like I said, this video here is gonna be very basic. I think this whole painting process is easy for a lot of you guys, and you guys know a lot of this, but it's when you get into like the stencils and the airbrushing is when things are gonna start coming to you guys that's new. So I think that's the part that you guys are gonna like to watch. But this, very basic, simple. If you need any more help, let me know. But yeah, first things first, gotta prep your shoes, leather preparer and deglazer. So the next item I would use once I prep the shoes is using some tape to cover off areas you don't want paint to get on. So for this, I obviously have my X-Acto knife to help me cut out the areas, and you can just use any X-Acto knife. Make sure your blade is sharp, but also be careful because I have cut myself before trying to cut the edges around. But X-Acto knife, very useful when you are taping your shoes. The next thing is vinyl tape. I use this for the midsoles. It's very stretchy and it's easy to kind of form around the areas of the shoes, like the curve here and things like that. You can get this on angelusdirect.com. And then for the tape, I get a lot of questions what tape I use. I've used a lot, like Frogger's tape, the blue tape, the painter's tape, things like that. And this one has been the best one I've found so far. This one here is the general purpose 3M Scotch tape, number 2050, and it's just like I think it's like a 2-inch, 1.5-inch thick tape, and I use this for everything. I usually get this from Target, but it's been kind of hard to find, so you can find it on Amazon as well, Target, Walmart, things like that. You just gotta find it. But like I said, this is a Scotch 2050 general purpose tape. Now that you have your shoes taped up, you're basically ready to paint. For me, the best paint to use is Angelus paint. You can get this at angelusdirect.com. This is a 4-ounce bottle, and this is a 1-ounce bottle. I usually just get like flat black or flat white on a 4-ounce, and then all the different colors I get in a 1-ounce just because it lasts a long time. You don't use it on every custom like you do black and white. So I just get little bottles like this, and they last a while. So one of the most popular shoes to probably customize is an Air Force One. It's all leather. And just like this tip works with the Air Forces, Jordan 1s, Blazers, basically any shoe that is all leather. You can use the paint straight from the bottle. This is leather acrylic paint, very flexible, very durable. So for the first mixture on something like this, when you have that mesh and the sock liner as well that I painted. You're gonna want to keep that super soft because then it gets crusty, it gets very uncomfortable to wear, and every time you step it's gonna start cracking and not look so good. Anything that's soft and you're painting, you're gonna want to use this mix. You can use GAC 900, or there's a bottle called Too Soft on Angelus Direct, and you're gonna mix the 1:1 ratio with the paints. And then once you have that mixture, you're gonna paint the area, let it dry, and with the heat gun, you're gonna set it for like 3 to 5 minutes. Not too close, not too far, but you're gonna wanna just heat dry it for 3 to 5 minutes, and then it would activate like whatever's in the mix, and it's gonna keep your material soft. I said earlier, this shoe here has mesh, leather, and plastic pieces. I showed you guys how to paint the leather, how to paint the mesh. Next step is how to paint the plastic pieces. For the plastic pieces, you're gonna wanna use some Too Hard. It's right there. Anything that says Angelus brand you could get from angelusdirect.com, but you're gonna want to use this and your paint 1:1 ratio, just like everything else that you're mixing with, and then paint it, heat it up, and then you're good to go. This kind of like builds like a thicker type of paint, and it also protects it from like any scratches and things like that. So Too Hard is your way to go when you're gonna be painting some plastic pieces. Alright, so the next step, once you have your shoe fully painted, either or, you're going to want to use some finisher. There's many different finishers out in the market that you can use. One of my favorites, just because it's easy to use, is this right here, the Krylon Matte Finisher. You legit just spray like you're spraying a spray can. I find this at Walmart a lot. Good about 2 to 3 coats, let it dry, and it makes your shoe totally matte. For the next finisher you can use is actually Angelus Matte Finisher. This one here, even though it says matte finisher, it has a little like semi-gloss to it. So this one I would use with the airbrush or with the paintbrush. You just put 2 to 3 coats and you're good to go. But again, you can use this one if you want it really matte, or this one with like a semi-gloss. It all depends what kind of finish you want, but this is another good one as well. So for the last finisher I use is the LK Shoe Finisher here. You can get this on their Instagram at Liquid Kicks Official. Is kind of what it looks like. This one here I recommend it because it's very like scratch proof and it's very durable and keeps your customs looking really sharp. So alright, so now that I showed you guys like the products I use, I'm gonna be showing you guys the paintbrushes I use. And these are just like a 4-pack. I got them from Michael's. I always get a new pack every time I start a new custom. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I don't really clean my brushes and I let them sit for a while and then they get all hard. So I just go to Michael's, spend about $5 a pack, and I use them for the new shoes. So that's what I use right there. Now that I showed you guys the brushes I use, I know you guys know I use an airbrush as well, and I get a lot of questions on what airbrush I use, what compressor I have, and I'm going to be showing you guys that right now. So for this one here, I use this right here. It's honestly really small. It's a little bit loud, but since I'm in my garage, it doesn't really make a lot of noise like to disturb my family. So I use this one here. Shout out to my girlfriend. I've been having this for like 3 or 4 years. She got it for me on Christmas or my birthday, and I've been using it ever since. Let me read out the official names. I got this one, or I think she got it from angelusdirect.com, but if it's not there anymore, you can just search up the Grex Genesis XG-i3 Airbrush Combo. It's the GCK05. That's what this is, the official name. It's a Grex airbrush compressor. Really small, really cool. I think it's like $200, $300, something like that. But if you know how to use one, it's very helpful, especially when you're customizing some shoes. I love it, I use it all the time. But at first, I didn't really know how to use it, so it was very intimidating. But now, like, it's my go-to. So this is the airbrush I use right here. Boom. So the airbrush compressor actually came with an airbrush gun, but I don't really like how it works, so I got this one here. It's the Water Eclipse, and this is my go-to. I have 2 of them. I use one for the finishers right here, and then I use this one for the paint. As you can see, there's like some dried up paint in there, but this one is honestly really good. The other one had like the spray nozzle down here, and I didn't really feel too comfortable with that, and I like this one a lot better. So I just used this one. This is about like $120, $150 around there. I don't remember too much. I bought it a while ago. But you can just look up Water Eclipse and you should find out where they get them. So you know how I told you guys that you guys need like the mixture when you're using different materials and different things like that? When you're using an airbrush, you also need to add something to your paint. And that right there is some Too Thin. You're gonna do a 1:1 ratio. It makes this paint a little bit thinner to go through the airbrush gun. After you're done using your airbrush and it looks like this, you gotta clean it or else the paint's gonna clog it up. So with that, I use Angelus brush cleaner. It's like $5. You can get it again on angelusdirect.com. And those are the two products I use when I am airbrushing. I think that is it for like the painting process and like what I use while I paint. The next part of this video is going to be showing you guys the stencil machine I use and the stencil paper I use as well. That's going to be super quick, super easy. But yeah, let me clear off a little area and let me bring that over here so I can talk to you guys about that product right now. Now that I made some room, I'm bringing in the bad boy here. This is the stencil cutter I use. This is the Silhouette Cameo number 2. I believe there's up to number 4 now, but this one is the first one I got. It hasn't failed me yet, and I love it. It works really easy, super simple to use, and the blades it has here, they're easy to change and replace, so I still use it. It hasn't failed me. For the machine here, you do need like a cutting mat or something like that, and it's gonna be funny because this is a Silhouette, and the mat I use is a Cricut mat, the competition or whatever. There is also Cricut cutters as well that work the same. I just got this one first, not really knowing like the difference when I got it, but it works fine, so I just stay with it. But the cutting mat I use is a Cricut mat. It's cheaper than the Silhouette mat, so I just use it. The question that like a lot of you guys ask me a lot of the times is what vinyl I use, and I use the Oracle 651 for all my stencils because this is all I have right here. And it works really well. Once you heat it up, cut it up, and put it on the shoe, it sticks to almost anything. I really like it. And this is what you also get when you do order some stencils on my website. Make sure to check out that website down below if you need any pre-made stencils. This is what you're going to be getting when I use it. This is what I use for my stencils. So that's the paper that everyone asks me what I use. There it is. The next part, when I have my stencil ready to use, I use this right here. This is some clear transfer tape. I got it from Expressions Vinyl, and this is a 12 foot by 100 foot roll, so this thing's gonna last me quite some time. And I use this to transfer obviously the stencils onto the shoe, and it's a clear thing so I can see exactly where I need to put the stencils every single time. And the last and final step of like the whole stencil part of it is using the computer. You can use any computer. I use my Mac, I use my Microsoft Surface Pro, anything really. You can even use your phone, I think, on some of these now. But basically the products or the apps I use is Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, and the cutting program that the Silhouette Cameo uses. They usually give you a disc, or you can download it from the website, and you just gotta learn how to use that. If you guys want to know how to use those machines or how to do like a simple logo on Illustrator, Photoshop, or even with the Silhouette Cameo like program, leave a comment down below and I'll get more into that. But this is basically everything you need to customize some shoes, or at least what I use to customize shoes, from the stencils to the actual painting to the airbrush, the prepping, the mixing paints, and things like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was super like informative. It wasn't anything too crazy, but I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you guys did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.